In the heart of Willow Creek, a small town where every mailbox had flowers and every porch light flickered with warmth, life moved slower than in the big cities. People knew each other's names, and sometimes they knew a little too much. My name is Emily Parker, and my story became the most whispered rumor in town. Not because of what I did, but because of what people thought I did. I grew up on a farm just outside of town. It wasn't much, just chickens, a vegetable garden, and one stubborn old donkey named Oliver. Oliver had been with my family for years, and though he wasn't the prettiest or the fastest animal, he had a heart of gold. He brayed every morning at the crack of dawn and followed me around like a loyal companion. To me, Oliver was family. But in Willow Creek, people loved a story more than the truth. It all started when my marriage began to crack. My husband, Brian, and I had been together for nearly 7 years. At first, it was perfect, the kind of love that made you believe in forever. But forever has a way of losing its shine when bills pile up, dreams clash, and silence replaces laughter. Brian worked long hours at the mill, and I spent most of my days tending the farm and caring for Oliver. We drifted apart, like two boats tied to the same dock but facing opposite directions. One evening, as I sat on the porch brushing Oliver's tangled mane, Mrs. Henderson, our neighbor across the road, spotted me. She had a sharp eye and an even sharper tongue. "Spending more time with that donkey than your own husband, I see," she muttered loud enough for the whole county to hear. I laughed it off, thinking it was just her way of teasing, but little did I know her words would ignite the spark of a wildfire rumor. Brian and I had an argument that same night. He accused me of caring more about the farm than about him. I tried to explain that I needed something to hold on to, something steady, and the farm gave me that. But he stormed off, leaving me alone with Oliver, who nudged me as if to say, "I'm still here." The next morning at the grocery store, I felt eyes on me, whispering, snickering. Mrs. Henderson's words had spread like honey on warm bread. "Did you hear about Emily? She spends all her time with that donkey. I think there's more going on there." Poor Brian, imagine being cheated on with a donkey. At first I laughed. It was so absurd, so ridiculous, that I couldn't possibly take it seriously. But when Brian came home from work 2 days later, red-faced and shaking, I realized the rumor had reached him. "People are saying things, Emily. Ugly things. And I can't even look them in the eye anymore." His voice cracked, and for the first time, I saw how much the gossip was eating him alive. "I would never hurt you, Brian," I pleaded, tears welling up. "You know me better than that. Oliver is just a donkey." But he turned away. "Sometimes I don't know you at all." The weight of those words crushed me. Our marriage, already fragile, now felt like glass shattering on the kitchen floor. And the worst part? I couldn't stop the town from talking. Every glance at the diner, every chuckle behind my back at church, every muffled whisper at the farmer's market, they all chipped away at my spirit. One night, I broke down in Oliver's stall, sobbing into his coarse fur. "You're the only one who doesn't judge me, aren't you?" His big brown eyes blinked at me, steady and kind. In that moment, I realized the gossip wasn't about Oliver at all. It was about people needing someone to talk about, a story juicier than their own. And I was their story. But I refused to let them win. The next Sunday at church, as the pews filled and the choir sang softly, I stood up. My knees shook, but my voice rang clear. "I know what's being said about me," I began, and the room went silent. "And I want you all to hear the truth from my own mouth. Oliver is a donkey. He's been my companion since I was a little girl. I brush him, I feed him, I talk to him, because sometimes that's what lonely people do. But I did not betray my husband. I did not cheat. I will not let gossip destroy my name, my marriage, or my dignity." Gasps filled the room. Some people lowered their eyes in shame, others shuffled uncomfortably, but the truth had been spoken. Mrs. Henderson, sitting in the second pew, pursed her lips and looked away. After that day, the whispers didn't vanish entirely, but they softened. People found new stories to chew on. And slowly, Brian and I began to mend the cracks. He admitted he had doubted me, But seeing me stand up against the whole town reminded him of the woman he married, the strong, brave, stubborn woman who loved fiercely, even when life wasn't fair. We're still working on us. Some nights we sit together on the porch, watching Oliver graze in the pasture, and I smile knowing he'll always be part of my story. Not because of the gossip, but because he reminded me of who I was when everyone else tried to tell me otherwise. And if you ever pass through Willow Creek and hear someone whisper about the woman who cheated with her donkey, you'll know the truth. It wasn't about betrayal. It was about love, lies, and how small-town gossip can turn the simplest bond into the wildest tale. But in the end, I'm still standing. And so is Oliver.